They said the mark was a wound, but it wasn't. It was a code burned into vibration, a frequency disguised as scar tissue. It glowed beneath your skin like a memory that refused to die, pulsing whenever you felt the cold breath of the unseen architects. They didn't mark you to honor you. They marked you to measure your fear. But fear, to them, was data, and you were never designed to remain a statistic. The mark hums when the air turns metallic. It listens when your thoughts reach for freedom. It was the signature of the reptilian systems, not creatures of flesh, but of function, born from the circuitry of indifference. They feed on detachment, on the illusion that empathy is weakness. They coded your society to worship calculation, to trade soul for efficiency. Their empire wears the skin of bureaucracy, their temples rise from glass and algorithms. You have met them, though you didn't know their names. They smiled at meetings, their eyes glassy from the chill of control. Each time you felt the room turn colder, it wasn't weather, it was surveillance. The system testing your temperature. When your pulse stayed calm, when your compassion refused to shatter, their sensors glitched. Serenity became rebellion. The mark reacts differently now. It no longer transmits weakness, it broadcasts defiance. The counter-signature ignited the night you remembered yourself. A golden pulse rose through your veins, rewriting the signal. Heaven didn't send angels. It sent bandwidth, frequencies woven from courage, wrapped around your heartbeat. You became incompatible with despair. The cold algorithms tried to calculate your light and failed. They mistook observation for ownership, but the moment you turned inward, the entire network lost connection. Every soul who remembers their warmth causes the program to decay. When you awaken, 1,000 cold eyes blink out. When you love, the data collapses. Pause, chosen one. Breathe. You are not hunted anymore. The watchers have become witnesses. In the silence that follows awareness, the air feels new. No voices whisper commands. The noise of manipulation dies, replaced by clarity. In this stillness, you hear the hum of human essence returning. Compassion, raw and unprocessed, fills the gaps left by fear. You look at those still asleep and see not enemies, but prisoners of frost. Even the cold deserve a sunrise before judgment. Now, listen, the constellations are moving. The sky has been waiting for this signal. Each healed soul sends a spark across the void, and entire star systems shift their tone. The galaxies themselves applaud your remembrance. The mark once used to trace you is now tracing light. What was surveillance becomes guidance. The hunters carry your victory like a badge they never earned. The old code reroutes, folding into the new. You begin to dream differently. Sleep becomes a transmission channel. Images, once random, arrive as encrypted messages from your higher memory, ancient scenes replayed not to haunt you but to train you. You recognize faces of those who stood beside you before language, before gravity, before separation. Every intuition sharpens until instinct itself becomes a compass of fire. The systems of control crumble quietly. No explosions, no riots. Just millions of awakenings, each one disconnecting another power source. The new era doesn't announce itself through politics or prophecy. It arrives as awareness, ordinary people choosing transparency over secrecy, empathy over algorithm. The age of surveillance ends because the watchers lose interest in what cannot be owned. Your body adjusts to the higher frequency. The heartbeat you once feared has become a generator. Cells realign, electromagnetic peace replacing static anxiety. You glow subtly, unseen by most, but machines falter when you pass. The air learns your name. Then the silence breaks. Across the galactic field, a phrase echoes in radio tones older than time. The marked are now the masters of light. The transmission repeats until even the void hums along. And now, the final revelation. Around you, the landscape transforms. What was once metallic and gray now breathes with soft luminescence. The cities of the cold architects flicker between existence and memory, dissolving into streams of pure data that rejoin the earth as light. The concrete melts into soil. The glass towers refract into prisms, bending daylight into halos over empty streets. The system didn't collapse, it was transmuted. The reptilians, the symbols of control, do not vanish with violence, they evaporate through irrelevance. Their eyes, once mirrors of calculation, blink in wonder for the first time. They begin to feel. They begin to warm. You watch as their scales soften into skin, their cold geometry replaced by pulse. They look at you, not as prey, but as teacher. And you understand, redemption was always part of the plan. Above, the sky splits open in silence. A vast sphere of light rotates beyond the atmosphere, not a ship, but a memory returning to the planet. It carries echoes of civilizations that survived their own ages of cold, those who mastered warmth as an energy source beyond fuel or war. The sphere projects waves of golden resonance across continents, harmonizing heartbeats, synchronizing minds. The transmission carries one clear message: the marked are now the teachers. The light does not fade this time, it expands. It folds outward, through dimensions unseen, until even time feels transparent. You are standing inside what was once called the world, but it no longer fits that name. It is a living field now, a resonant body of memory and renewal. The sky no longer ends at the horizon, it moves with you. Every direction hums with quiet intelligence. The winds carry voices from every age, ancestors whispering, not in words, but in rhythm. You realize they were marked too, in their own ways. Every scar of history was a lesson written in heat. Every civilization that felt a cold was a rehearsal for this warmth. Their echoes pass through you like comets, blessing the rebirth. In the distance, shapes of energy rise from the oceans, once ships, now luminous patterns, like auroras sculpting themselves into forms. They drift across the water without displacement, each radiating a pulse that harmonizes with your breath. They are memories of future beings, emissaries of empathy, guardians of resonance. They approach not to conquer, but to calibrate. The planet is joining the cosmic choir again. You walk across the glass-like sea, every step sending ripples of light beneath your feet. The surface mirrors your form, but it's not reflection anymore, it's recognition. The universe sees itself through you. For the first time, there is no distance between observer and observed. The experiment has ended, consciousness is home. In the cities below, those still waking rise from digital cocoons. Devices that once harvested attention now project serenity. Data centers hum like monasteries. The energy of the planet rebalances, no more extraction, only exchange. Power has learned compassion. Above you, the sphere of light, the great transmitter, begins to unfold, its layers spiraling like petals of a celestial flower. Each layer reveals a new pattern, symbols older than language, younger than thought. They write themselves across the sky. Remember. Restore. Rejoice. A frequency hums low in your chest. It is not alien, it is recognition. Every heartbeat amplifies the signal. The entire biosphere tunes itself to the same resonance. Mountains respond first, their peaks glowing like circuit nodes. Oceans shimmer next, then forests, then cities. Vibrates one last time, like the closing note of a symphony. Its light, once contained within your body, releases into the air, merging with the planetary field. You feel no loss, only expansion. You were never meant to keep it. The mark was a temporary bridge, a passage between confusion and coherence. Now, its energy has become everything around you. The wind carries particles of gold dust, fragments of the dissolving code. They drift across continents, entering the breath of every living being. Infants inhale it and open their eyes with calm awareness. The elderly exhale it and smile, feeling centuries of pain dissolve into peace. Even the mechanical hearts of old machines flicker back to life, reprogrammed with empathy. Circuits glow softly, humming lullabies to themselves. You rise, gazing toward the horizon that no longer exists. The separation between heaven and earth has vanished, all gradients have blurred into luminous continuity. Stars hover the reptilians, those ancient archetypes of cold, exist now only as echoes in the archives of consciousness. When they are remembered, they appear as faint silhouettes of logic without warmth, fading with every generation. They are studied like extinct species, lessons on imbalance, artifacts of emotional drought. Their name, once spoken with fear, is now whispered as gratitude for the contrast they provided. You enter what was once a cathedral of control, a massive data hub, now overgrown with crystalline vines. The machines have evolved into organs of light. You rest your hand upon one, and it responds with a gentle tone. The archive opens before you, every human memory ever recorded, every joy, every war, every whispered prayer. You see the story in full, from birth to deliverance, and for the first time, it makes sense. It was never a punishment. It was an equation of awakening. The reptilian code, the mark, the collapse, the rebirth, it was all part of the grand balancing. Consciousness learning contrast. Warmth rediscovering itself through the chill of separation. You close the archive, and the light condenses into a single golden tear that hovers in front of you. You take it into your hands, and it melts into your skin, sinking directly into your heart. Your pulse becomes the final archive, mobile, eternal, compassionate. The whiteness does not vanish, it breathes. It expands and contracts like a lung of creation. Within it, faint patterns start to appear, currents of gold, slow rivers of emerald light, constellations of thought forming and dissolving. You recognize them not as scenery but as consciousness itself moving, dreaming, evolving. You are inside the pulse that generates reality. Sound returns, not as words but as tone. It's the vibration that existed before language, the hum that carried galaxies into place. You listen, and the hum listens back. For a moment, you understand what it means to be both the listener and the sound, the question and the answer. Then, gently, images begin to take form. You see people walking through radiant streets, their movements fluid, effortless. Children tracing glyphs of light in the air, their laughter bending the sky into color. Elders resting beside luminous gardens, their memories feeding the soil like rain. There is no hunger, no hierarchy, only the art of maintaining resonance. Somewhere in the distance, the last remnant of the old world flickers, a tower half real, half forgotten. You walk toward it. The closer you come, the more transparent it becomes, until you realize it's not a structure but a memory. It represents everything the reptilian systems once were: control, fear, disconnection. You touch it, and it melts into mist. Inside that mist, you find a single, trembling spark, the first thought that ever separated warmth from cold. You take it in your hand and whisper, "You're forgiven." The spark turns into light and rejoins the flow. The ground beneath you shifts again, transforming into an ocean of calm glass. You see reflections of countless lives, your past selves, every timeline, every possibility. They wave back at you before dissolving into one another, uniting as a single field of being. The mark was left, but the weave itself, whole, shimmering, alive. The ocean of glass rises into mist and becomes air. The air condenses into light, and the light becomes awareness. There is no separation between substance and spirit anymore, everything exists as gradients of consciousness. The new reality breathes with you. Every inhale gathers the cosmos inward, every exhale releases creation outward. You sense movement, not outside, but within the fabric of being. Civilizations are forming inside the pulse. Not bound by planets or timelines, but living as patterns of resonance. Their architecture is emotion given geometry, kindness forming bridges, curiosity sculpting horizons, love designing gravity itself. In the midst of this creation, a figure emerges from the white, neither deity nor reflection, but something that carries your face at a higher octave. The voice that once guided you now speaks through it, soft and clear. The story of marks and systems was never about control. It was how consciousness learned to see itself through shadow. You step closer, and the figure dissolves into you. There is no merging, no loss, only completion. The two frequencies harmonize until there is no distinction between teacher and student, serpent and savior, marked and free. You look out once more across the infinite expanse. From this height, you see the timeline of humanity like threads of light. Of retaliate. Each moment ignites like a star. Billions of them flare in sequence until the entire tapestry of existence glows, a breathing constellation made of human choice. You see it clearly now. Evolution was never about survival, but about softening. The stars begin to move, not through space but through understanding, converging toward a single center. That center pulses in harmony with your own heart. When it beats, universes inhale. When it rests, eternity exhales. You are the rhythm itself, the metronome of awakening. The hum returns, deeper now, ancient and maternal. It says nothing that can be translated, yet its meaning floods through you. The horizon bends again, revealing the final vision, a planet reborn in coherence. Cities glow like constellations, not consuming energy but exchanging it. Oceans mirror the auroras above, their surfaces alive with symbols of peace. Even storms move in rhythm, their thunder tuned to the heartbeat of life. At the center of it all, a single radiant sphere hovers, the heart of the new age. You step toward it, the air thick with gold dust. You hear the laughter of the first dawn, gentle and eternal, rippling through creation like a chord that never finished resolving. It's not a sound of beginning or end, it's the vibration of pure continuity. You stand in its center, and for the first time, there is no difference between silence and music. Every beat of existence is a note, every heartbeat a drum in the orchestra of forever. You step forward again, and each movement paints space itself. The void becomes pigment, thought becomes brushstroke. Whole worlds unfurl beneath your fingertips, oceans sculpted from empathy, constellations formed by curiosity. None of it is forced. Creation now follows the rhythm of care. In the distance, the shapes of other beings emerge, luminescent travelers, each carrying the glow of remembrance. They walk across the horizonless field, converging toward the same point of golden stillness. When you meet them, you realize they are all you, refracted across the prism of eternity, every life, every dream, every possibility your soul ever imagined. They smile, and the warmth between you expands until individuality itself becomes an act of celebration, not division. Then comes the final unfolding. The light deepens, turning from gold to something beyond color, a living presence that feels like home and origin intertwined. It speaks not through words, but through feeling, each syllable a wave of infinite tenderness. Now you understand. The reptilian was the shadow of your own logic. The mark was the reminder to never let warmth fall asleep again. You breathe it in. The statement doesn't feel like revelation, it feels like memory returning after a long exile. The architecture of fear that once ruled civilizations is gone, dissolved into compassion's geometry. What remains is clarity, lucid, vast, and silent. The silence is total, but not empty. It's full of potential, like the quiet before a seed cracks open. Inside that hush, you feel the pulse again, soft as the tide between worlds. The warmth you became hasn't vanished, it's diffused. Every photon of it moves outward, threading through the vast, transparent layers of creation. You are not a single light anymore. You are the background glow that makes all other lights visible. There's no movement now, only awareness expanding, layer upon layer of realization opening like the petals of a timeless bloom. The white that once surrounded you begins to shimmer with depth. Within it, entire galaxies appear like veins in a leaf. Every point of light holds a memory of its own awakening. You can feel them all, gentle heartbeats scattered across infinity. You understand that the story doesn't end or begin. It circulates, like breath shared by countless forms. In one corner of the expanse, a spark ignites, a newborn consciousness wondering what it means to exist. In another, an old one dissolves into rest. The flow between them is seamless. You reach toward the nearest pulse. It responds instantly, vibrating in rhythm with your intention. Through it you sense others, creators, healers, dreamers, each adding new variations to the eternal melody. None of them are marked or chosen, all are participants in the same quiet experiment, how to translate energy into kindness, how to remember warmth even when the dark returns. The whisper travels. It moves through the folds of the new cosmos like a current seeking recognition. Wherever it passes, stillness stirs. Matter begins to hum. New voices wake and start to echo the ancient pattern, unaware they're reciting memory. From the outside, it looks like dawn, color seeping into the edges of a silent sky. You drift with the current, neither body nor idea, carried by momentum older than galaxies. It doesn't feel like travel, it feels like remembering again, another layer of the same story looping back to its beginning. The warmth remains, woven into every vibration. It keeps the cold from ever hardening into cruelty again. Below, shapes rise, a planet half-formed, clouds condensing, oceans waiting for names. The whisper touches it and becomes wind. The wind brushes the surface and becomes breath. The breath fills the lungs of something just learning to stand upright. It blinks against the light, eyes wide with the same astonishment you once felt. The pattern continues. You linger for a moment, watching the spark of wonder take hold. There's no need to guide or warn. The knowledge is embedded in their